Hello viewers, this is Bruce Dean and I don't know how to start videos. So, if you've been watching my recent videos, you'll know that I've been thinking about the MCU reboot set to happen after Secret Wars. So far, I've made a video about how I would handle the universe as a whole, and a pitch video for Spider-Man's side of the universe. So today I would like to try my hand at a pitch for the X-Men's side of the universe. I know there are plenty of people who have already made similar videos to this concept, and I recommend watching them after you finish this video. Especially Troyoboyo17. He's made an MCU reboot pitch video as well as an X-Men in the MCU pitch. Both videos are amazing, so I definitely recommend checking them out. Along with Cape and Cow Cafes, again, he's awesome, check him out as well. I would like to add a disclaimer that this is not a movie pitch, but rather a pitch for how the X-Men should be handled as a whole. I might make a movie pitch video later on, depending on how much I like making these videos. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. So with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. They should recast everyone, and I mean everyone. No Hugh Jackman, no Patrick Stewart, no Ryan Reynolds. An all-new cast. I'm not going to say who I want to play characters, fan casting is fun and all, but like I said in the Spider-Man video, I'm not all that good at it, besides saying this actor looks like this actor, so, maybe... No, it's dumb, I can't fan cast for shit. All I know is that Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, they're getting way too old to play these characters. Ryan Reynolds was fun, but, give someone else a chance, These projects should mainly focus on the topic of bigotry and discrimination towards mutant kind. Obviously, you can tell other stories, but a mutant story should always prioritize the bigotry aspect of the X-Men. Otherwise, you might as well just be telling an Avengers story. So the topic of using Wolverine right off the bat is something I've seen a lot of YouTubers go back and forth on. My thought is yes, obviously use Wolverine, just not as an X-Men right off the bat. First, give the X-Men their own story, then give Wolverine his own story, then finally merge the two in an X-Men sequel. I think it would be cool to give the first movie the First Class lineup. And to specify, I do mean the comic book First Class lineup, not the movie lineup. So that's Scott Summers as Cyclops, Jean Grey as Marvel Girl, Hank McCoy as Beast, Warren Worthington III as Angel, and Bobby Drake as Iceman, all led by Charles Xavier as Professor X. I've seen a few YouTubers be standoffish with this lineup due to the fact that every single character on it is white, when the X-Men are an allegory for social persecution. I personally don't see why we can't just race swap characters. I mean, they do it for characters that aren't the X-Men, so why not do it with characters that are the X-Men, It's not that big of a deal. None of these characters really need to be white, Plus, Beast is blue. That's his whole thing, is that he doesn't look human, and Bobby's gay, so there's that storyline. So... I like to add a side note that I did draw the characters how they're typically depicted, mainly just because it was easier for me to do it that way. But I really don't care if Marvel changes their races. Then, whenever we introduce Wolverine to the team in a future sequel, we can change the roster to fit a combination of the First Class lineup and the giant-sized X-Men roster. So that's Logan Howlett as Wolverine, Piotr Rasputin as Colossus, Kitty Pryde as Shadowcat, Kurt Wagner as Nightcrawler, Aurora Monroe as Storm, along with everyone from the First Class lineup. I have a few ideas for different mutant projects. For instance, I think giving solo projects to individual X-Men outside of just Wolverine can be really cool. For instance, a Cyclops and Jean Grey movie where they showcase their dynamic outside of the team could be awesome. Or imagine a Storm project where she finally meets Black Panther and we finally get to see that relationship unfold on screen. Another idea for a miniseries I have is an X-Men Origins TV series, an anthology series that showcases the origins of every X-Men member before joining the team. Could be truly astonishing. Something else I've been thinking about, actually since high school, is a Magneto movie that would predate the X-Men as a team. I like the idea of Charles recruiting Eric to a team of mutants created to save lives, except this team isn't the X-Men, it's called the Brotherhood of Mutants. After a failed mission that causes humanity to hate mutants even more, Eric and the Brotherhood leave Charles behind, and Charles later creates a new team called the X-Men. After recording that, I'm realizing that that's kind of just like the First Class movie. I promise you that the outline of my script is a lot different than that movie.
Something the Fox movies never did that I always wish they had done was give characters their proper power colors. For instance, when Jean Grey uses telekinesis, her hands, along with whatever she is controlling, should be surrounded by a transparent pink hue. When she uses telepathy, she should have transparent pink spirals emitting from her forehead. Magneto's hands, and whatever he is controlling, should be surrounded by a transparent blue hue. Polaris's color hue should be green. Professor X should also have transparent spirals coming from his head, except they should be blue or sometimes clear. And the items Gambit charges with his kinetic abilities should glow with a magenta hue. They gave Wanda her red color hue in the MCU and it worked, so they should absolutely give the same treatment to the other mutants. I mean, it'd be cool to see their powers differentiate from one another this way. Also, I'm adding this here because I don't know where else to put it, but give Bobby the fucking ice slide.
The preferred ages of the X-Men is another topic that's often argued over. I think the first class lineup should be teenagers/young adults in their first movie, while being in their early to mid-20s once we introduce the giant-sized X-Men roster to the team. The giant-sized roster's ages should obviously vary. Storm should be in her 30s, Colossus, Shadowcat, and Nightcrawler should all be teenagers/young adults, and obviously Wolverine is hundreds of years old. Professor X should be the oldest, besides Wolverine, being around the same age as Magneto, who was a child in the Holocaust. However, they should appear to be in their late 50s/early 60s, which we can just chalk up to their mutant powers causing them to age at a slightly lower rate than everyone else. I mean, Wolverine looks like he's in his 40s, and he's 200, so... Oh, I almost forgot. I hinted at this in the first video, but I would like to de-age Wanda and Pietro Maximoff, making them the teenage children of Magneto. I don't care what you say. Oh, but Bruce, they aren't even Magneto's children in the comics anymore. I don't care. That's stupid, and it was clearly only done due to rights issues. Just like how Kamala Khan was originally meant to be a mutant, but Marvel Editorial forced her creator to make her an Inhuman, as to not give Fox any more toys to make money off of. Speaking of which, Kamala should be a mutant in the reboot as well. Hell, make her an X-Men. Just make sure to give her solo projects as well. But back to Wanda and Pietro. They should be Magneto's children, and their little sister Polaris should also be in this universe. Oh, how could I forget the romantic relationships? Relationships are the heart and soul of the X-Men, so I really want to see them done right this time around. This includes Colossus and Shadowcat, Rogue and Gambit, Storm and Black Panther, and most importantly, Scott and Jean. I know some people like Logan and Jean. We call those people weirdos. Especially with the iteration of X-Men where Logan looks to be in his 40s and is actually 200, and Scott and Jean are both young adults in their 20s. Weirdos. This isn't the Ultimate Universe. Logan is not a pedophile. The only acceptable relationship between Logan and Jean is a three-way throuple relationship between Logan, Jean, and Scott. And even that is not if Scott and Jean are in their 20s. Yeah, that's basically it, I guess. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, and share. I might make pitches for actual X-Men/mutant projects depending on how much I enjoy making this video. So stay tuned for that. Maybe, probably, maybe not. I don't know yet. But yeah, I guess I should wish you all a good morning, good evening, or good night. I love you all platonically. Except for one of you. You know who you are. Okay, bye.